We'll start with Christian's decision not to testify. He said this to the judge today.
My biggest issue is if I end up going to prison, I'm open to, I'm in prison, I testify. It opens up a can of worms.
That decision made, Christian's lawyers wrapped up their case this week by drilling down on their insanity strategy. Their client pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect to the stabbings. That means Christian admits to aiming an angry, racist rant at 2 black teen girls on a MAX train, then stabbing 3 men who either intervened or stood nearby. 2 died. It happened in May of 2017. But Christian's lawyers argue he has a diminished mental capacity and couldn't have fully known what he was doing. Key to that, this psychologist's testimony that Christian has autism spectrum disorder. It's a developmental disability that can cause significant social, communication, and behavioral challenges. Yesterday, the prosecution pushed back, arguing it's not severe enough of a diagnosis.
It's not your opinion that Jeremy Christian is legally insane?
No.
That said, it has worked in other cases, including one on the East Coast where a man was charged with stabbing his mother. He had autism. He used the insanity defense, and he was acquitted in 2017.
Autism is not commonly used in the context of an insanity defense.
Dr. Alexander Westphal says that the strategy is rare, but not unheard of. The forensic psychologist at Yale University studies autism spectrum disorder and notes people with it aren't necessarily more or less violent than anyone else. But there are aspects of the disorder that could trigger aggression.
People with autism have restricted routines they need to follow to get a certain thing done, like they need to leave the house in a certain way, or they need to go around a certain route in the grocery store, something like that. And, interfering with those routines can be problematic if you're the person doing the interfering.
To that point, the psychologist in this case testified Christian was angry that Portland, his hometown, was growing and changing. That, he said, broke Christian's routine. It wasn't the only time jurors heard about this disorder. In opening statements, prosecutors told them the lone survivor of the stabbings, Micah Fletcher, was also diagnosed with autism as a little boy. Now that the defense has rested, we'll see a rebuttal from the prosecution over the next few days, and then closing arguments are expected on Tuesday. After that, this case goes to the jury.